Okay, so like, who bright idea was it to read this many books in the month of February? Okay, February, the shortest month of the year. Huh? What? I did. Oops. Well, then, never mind. Let's do this video. What's up, guys? It is Mia from Select Pages coming at you today with my February TBR of sorts. Now, I wasn't going to post this video only because I was so ready to like just start reading all the many books that I have this month, but once all my books came in the mail, I was like super excited, super hyped. I just wanted to share with you guys what it is that I wanted to read. I am participating in a bunch of readathons and read-alongs and just good old reads, so let's just jump right into the video because I don't want it to drag on for way too long. So my most anticipated read-along this month is going to be the Blackathon, hosted by Jesse from Bow Ties and Books, Francina from Francina and Simone, and Lauren over at the novel Lush. And basically we are just embracing Black authors, Black books, Black characters, and everything associated with Black History Month. And I am super excited to be participating in this. There are several prompts, and just going down the list really quick, the first one is Feel the Love, read a book, any genre featuring romance between two Black people or one Black person or a person of color. For that one, I am going with Bingo Love by T. Franklin, and I hope you guys can see because I cannot see if it's blinding or not. But I found this book by researching books to read for this prompt, and now I am seeing it everywhere. This follows two young ladies who are so in love, and they find something happens where they couldn't be together, and they find their way back to each other like 50 or 60 years later down the line. I think it is so cute. It's a graphic novel, so I know that I'm going to pretty much just like devour it really quick, and I'm super excited to read that one. Second prompt is Wakanda Forever, read a graphic novel or comic series with a Black or African main character. And that one I went with Abbott by Saladin Ahmed, which is actually my son's middle name. That's cool. This basically follows a reporter in Detroit, Michigan, and she's trying to follow this like occult thing that was like going on. Something happened to her husband and her family, and she's a reporter and she's just trying to figure out what the hell happened. I flicked through it. It looks pretty gory, some parts, and I'm like, I'm down for that. Cool, I can do that. So I definitely can't wait to start this one. And one that I don't have, I'll insert a picture somewhere on the screen, but I'm also reading Juke Joint, also by T. Franklin from Bingo Love, and it features Black main characters, and it's pretty much about his sisters. They're like a coven or a coven. I think we find out that they're like sirens or something later, but anyway, they're basically women, like vigilantes to me. And they all hang out at this place called the Juke Joint, which is run by this woman named Mahalia. And the only rule of the juke joint is like the men can come and like dance with the ladies and everything, but the only thing is they cannot touch them, they cannot abuse them in any type of way. But of course men don't listen, and when that happens, these women like goes on the attack. They like kind of like kill them in the woods. It's set in like the 1950s New Orleans, so it's like really have like that old time feel to it. I read volume 1 and I'm super excited to get the actual paperback copies of them. I read them on my Kindle. I was really invested in the story. I really like it. But if you're the type of person who doesn't like a lot of gore, there is nudity in it, yeah, it's probably won't be for you. But I think the third volume comes out later this year, and I am super excited to get into that one. The third prompt, Hear Us, any work by Black African American author. So I'm gonna tell you guys what happened. Originally, I was going to read The Bells by Danielle Clayton. This has been on my TBR for the longest time since it was released last year, and I just haven't gotten around to it yet. And hopefully, and I know I will get to it this year, but I just don't know if I'm going to get to it for Blackathon. This follows a girl named Camille, I believe, and it's supposed to be like this other bunch of girls who have this powers to make people beautiful. They live in this drab gray world, and they are hired by like the queen or a princess of the town. I don't really remember exactly, but it's supposed to be basically, they're supposed to be their job to keep everyone beautiful, those who can afford it or whatever. And of course we all know something's going to happen and we got to figure out what it is. And I am super excited to read this because the second book comes out I think in like the next month or two. So what I probably will wind up doing if I don't get to this for Blackathon, I definitely will read it back to back with the next book that comes out in the series in a couple of weeks. But the book that I have chose for this, which ironically is funny because I had already said that I was going to buddy read this with Heather over from the Happy Booktuber, and that is, which we're already doing now, On the Come Up by Angie Thomas, which just came out like yesterday. We are about 150 pages in and we are loving this so far. It is so good. If you like The Hate You Give, it kind of follows the same themes. It's not as dramatic as The Hate You Give, of course, but it still is pretty impactful, and I'm really loving it so far. Of course, Angie Thomas is a Black author featuring Black characters, so yeah, that's definitely the book for that prompt, and I cannot wait to give you guys my review on that one. Feel the Beat, which is the fourth prompt, spoken word. Listen to the 4 poems and share your favorite one on social media or with a friend. Discuss what the poem means to you. And I will link Jesse's video down below where they explain, they have the 4 poems listed, and you know, pretty much what you gotta do is talk about it, which I will discuss later in some social media platform or in my wrap up for Blackathon. Fifth prompt is More Than a Color. We house complexity within us. Read a book starring an intersectional Black character, such as Black and LGBT, Black and neurodivergent, Black and disabled, etc. So that one, I'm super excited to read this one. And that is Little and Lion by Brandy Colbert, which is another book that I found while researching books to read for Blackathon. And this follows a girl named Suzette, I want to say her name was. Yes. She is Black, bisexual, and half Jewish. How's that for your trifecta right there, right? And she has a half brother, I believe, who is bipolar, and also come to find out that both her and her brother might be in love with the same girl. That's all I needed to know. I am invested. I'm going to jump right into this book right after all the come up because I'm like, I gotta know what the hell happens. I haven't heard a lot about this book. I never even heard about it just until now, like I said, when I was researching it. But I am definitely invested. I really, really, really can't wait to get into this one. And the sixth prompt, the last one in this together, read the group book Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo, which I have already read literally like a couple of months ago, so I can't be certain that I'm going to go ahead and reread this because it's still pretty fresh in my mind, but I do know that it is an awesome book, and if you haven't read it, it should be one to add to your TBR and read, especially during this Blackathon or just whatever, like this year, whatever you want to read it. But it really was a good book. I think I gave it like a 4 stars, and it's one of those books that it's written in verse, so it's not even going to take that long to read. I might go ahead and just read it anyway. So that is the whole wrap up for Blackathon. Now there are some other books that I would love to get to in the month of February. So the first one being, I want to finish A Game of Thrones by George R.R. Martin. This was part of the, forgive me, I cannot remember the exact book club name. I think it was Catch Up, Game of Thrones Catch Up. I can't remember. I should have looked it up before I started. But it's hosted by like Ashley from Don't Have a Degree in Reading and a bunch of other amazing booktubers that I can't think of right now. And every 2 months we are reading a Game of Thrones book, and I believe there's going to be a live show and a discussion about it. It's a whole Twitter feed, which I will all link down below if you guys are interested. And this is my second time reading this one, and I am loving it. I'm finding so many Easter eggs and just foreshadowing stuff that I did not see the first time, and I'm just like devouring it, and I'm almost done. I'm almost done. I have until the end of the month to finish this one. I'm like on, I got like about 100 pages left, so if I still continue to read a little bit of it every day, then I can definitely knock this out by the end of the month. The next book that I do plan on reading is part of A.G. Macdonald's kind of like a book of the month club kind of thing, where he picks a book once a month and we sit, we read and discuss it. We had such a fun time reading Mirage together last month that he decided to turn it into like kind of like a series. So for this month, that book choice is The Librarian of Auschwitz by Antonio. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. this is apparently about, well, it's set in the Holocaust, and it's about a girl who is pretty much chosen to take care of these special books from the library that she's not supposed to have, that the Jewish folks is not supposed to have, and she's supposed to basically take care of them. That is all that I know about this book. Everything else I'm going in completely blind. I never even heard of this book before, and I really don't read like historical fiction like at all, so this is definitely a new genre for me, and the fact that I'm reading it with AG is like, I'm cool with that because I know he'll help me along the way for anything that I don't understand. So definitely, this just came in the mail today, and I'm super excited so I can start it hopefully within the next day or two. And if time permits, the last book that I'm hoping to read, and I don't have a physical copy of it yet because I don't know if I'm going to have a chance to read it, and that is, believe it or not, Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Of course, I've seen the movie 1,000,001 times, but I never read the book, and that is part of the Galactic Grimoire, I think I'm pronouncing that right, book club and Goodreads, hosted by Sam from Sci-Fi and Sarcasm, and Megan from Tones Infinity. And it's a Goodreads group that I just joined, and I saw that was the book of the month for them, and they're doing a live show at the end of February, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like I always wanted to read that book. So like I said, if I can get through all of this first, I will jump in and try to read Jurassic Park, but if not, I do plan on reading that this year. So yeah, we'll just see how that works. Whew, that was a mouthful. Anyways, that is my TBR for the month of February, which only has, what, 28 days? We'll see how we do. We're already a week in, so I'm behind. Anyways, with that, if you guys made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys in the next one, which will probably be the epic wrap-up of all of this awesome readingness, okay? Until then, bye, loves.